Hello folks, this is Sula again, and you're listening to a commentary video for League of Legends, this one featuring Sona. I'm playing in a normal game with a pre-made team of 5, so this is not going to be a practice game, this is an actual real game against people we don't know. You can see I'm playing with Jaje, who's playing as Alistar, Atlas, who's playing as Warwick, Mookie, who's playing as Malzahar, and Cole, who's playing at Ashe. We are matched up against a team of random people that we don't know, as is a normal game as I said, so we have an Aurelia player, a Misfortune player, Teemo player, Lux player, and an Amumu player. Now, one of the weird things about this game that jumped out right away is we saw that their Misfortune player was taking Smite, and we were wondering whether this was someone who was trying to lane with Smite, because Misfortune is not a typical jungler. However, as it turned out, this actually was someone who was going to jungle with Misfortune. Apparently the logic there was that they just wanted to have 2 solo lanes, and then they wanted to have a duo lane, and they wanted to have someone farming the jungle. That is superior to just not having a jungler at all, because that way at least you're still getting more total experience. But the reason why people don't jungle with Misfortune is, first of all, she's a weak and slow jungler. You can see the Vampiric Scepter there that's going to be taken for use in the jungle. First of all, because Misfortune's a slow jungler and not very good, and then secondly, just because Misfortune has no real ability to try to get kills, to try to gank people, try to help out other lanes. So needless to say, this is better than just not having a jungler, but it's still not a good choice overall for the game. Anyway, we played a game just prior to this, another normal game, in which I was playing as Annie, and I was matched up against a team that didn't have a jungler at all, and so instead they just had 2 duo lanes and a solo lane. And in that game, the other team had a Jax Soraka lane, which I was trying to solo against with Annie, and they were able to zone me completely and shut me down. So that was a very frustrating experience, and we ended up losing that game. Didn't go very well. That was one case where not having the jungler worked out okay for the other team. If you're playing as a character like Annie, you really can't lane against a duo lane of Jax and Soraka. Jax just going max aggression on you constantly, and then Soraka healing Jax and infusing him with mana. So that was a bad experience, and this is the game that we played following that, and this one would end up going a whole lot better. So no, I don't win all the time. I don't generally post a lot of losses because it's not that helpful to see me playing characters badly. Like, it's not that helpful to watch me play, say, Annie, and then have an Annie game where I just play terribly. So that's sort of the logic there. I try to show characters being played well because I think it's more instructive and the videos are more entertaining. But in any case, what we're going to have here is a Sona game, and I have done some Sona games in the past. I put 2 Sona games up, but not for a very, very long time. Haven't used too much Sona. So here we go. We're just starting, helping Atlas get started at blue. Warwick doesn't need to start blue, but of course he can start there. Any jungler can start blue, and so you can see Atlas is going to finish it off with his smite. Now we are going to have Jaje playing Alistar, and he is going to play a roaming Alistar. That is, so we effectively have 3 solo lanes. We effectively have Malzahar solo, Ashe solo, and then me solo in bottom lane. And Jaje is going to roam around the map. He's going to try to steal jungle buffs. Like right now, he's trying to find their Misfortune player, and I believe that he was looking for her. I'm also trying to find her with Clairvoyance. I've been checking their blue, expecting her to start blue if she's going to jungle, but hasn't been checking blue. And indeed, there she is. You can see Jaje is going in on this Misfortune player there. He's not going to get a kill. I'll just go ahead and tell you that right now. So that's why I'm going to keep the focus up here in this lane. So the bad thing about the game that I played right before this one, remember I said I played a normal game against that Jax and Soraka lane with Annie? The one thing that they did was they were smart enough not to push to my tower. They just kept zoning me. Normally, if a team isn't smart enough to take a jungler, then they are also not smart enough to zone you, and that was sort of the rare exception to that. So you can see, once again, I've got a 2v1 lane here, but unlike my last game, the people I'm playing against are not smart enough to realize that they could just zone me here in lane. So instead, they keep pushing to my tower over and over again. What they actually are going to do is they've now pushed up to my tower, and they actually left the lane. The Amumu and the Aurelia player have actually left the lane now, and if you see, they're over here. They're actually coming to gank middle lane, but we were able to spot that with Jaje, so Mookie is going to be okay. That is a big mistake on their part. You don't just want to leave the lane like that, because now I continue farming here, and all this time I'm going to be getting solo experience and solo gold, and while they're roaming around the map like that, they're not going to be getting any experience or gold. So they're actually going to be behind me by quite a bit. Now notice that as a result of this Aurelia is only level 2 because she spent all the time walking up to middle lane and not doing anything. And meanwhile, I'm about to hit level 4, so I'm going to have a huge advantage over here in the immediate future. And I'm going to put this to really good use because she has rather foolishly left the lane. I'm going to take advantage of that. So I am going to start harassing her, continue harassing her with Sona Q, and if you can see, I've actually got her really low, and right there, I'm actually going to draw first blood because that Aurelia player just took too much harass. Now, I am getting low here to a Mumu, but I'm going to burn my flash just to make sure I get away. Going to use my flash, going to drink a health potion. I was considering going back to base here, but then I noticed that a Mumu was pushing this minion wave up, and then I realized, hey, you know what? I'm Sona, I've got 2 health pots, I'm fine. I'm just going to continue farming these minions, and I'll stay back, and I'll be able to play this safe enough. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen Sona before, like I said, it's been a while since I played her. I do have the holiday Sona skin. This is something they released back during the Christmas promotion at the end of 2010. So there's the skin if you haven't seen it before. If you use the, I think it's the joke command, you get to play a little melody, and I did that in one of the old videos I did for Sona, so you can check that out if you go and look at some of my older stuff, my Silent Night Sona. So in terms of Sona's skills, Sona is a character who uses auras. For instance, every time that Sona uses one of her 3 main skills, or Q, W, E, she has there's a persistent aura effect, and then also an active effect. And there you go, Jaja, you can see he's ganking in, I think, top lane, and he and Cole are getting a kill up there. So nice work. There's the roamer in action. Anyway, as I said, all her abilities have both a passive and an active function. The passive is her aura effect, so they all have an effect just by having that aura up. And then there's also an active effect as well. And here you see me farming at tower, and wow, I actually did a really good job there. So anyway, in terms of her passive is that every 3 spell casts, she gets a bonus effect on an auto attack. So you can see every 3 spells, her next attack deals bonus damage and has an extra effect. It used to just deal bonus damage, but now there's some other effects that come along with it as well. Her Q, her Hymn of Valor, is basically Sona's damage skill. When you hit Q, you can see the aura effect is that you get extra damage and ability power for nearby champions, which is pretty good, to say the least. You can see 14 extra damage and ability power while you're running this, and it goes up to, I think, 20 at max rank. And then when you play it, you actually use the active. It fires out 2 bolts that deal magic damage to the 2 nearest enemies. So you don't aim this skill, it's just automatic. You hit Q and it automatically hits 2 champs. It will prioritize enemy champions. If minions and enemy champs are in range, it'll go for the enemy champs. So again, you can't aim this, but with a little practice, you can kind of get used to using it and get a feel for what it's going to hit. Her W, Aria of Perseverance, is basically Sona's heal. This is her healing skill. When the aura is active, it increases armor and magic resist, and then the active, it heals Sona and a nearby allied champ. So pretty easy to use. Again, you don't aim this, it just heals another allied champ nearby automatically, so you don't control it, but it will heal whoever's closest. It heals whoever's lowest and is in range. Anyway, here we're going to go in and engage, and right there I'm going to use Sona ult to freeze them. Talk more about that in a minute. Jaja's going to get off the headbutt there. Now Jaja was exhausted, so he's very low. That Amumu is still going in, trying to finish him off there. Sona Q to deal damage. Jaja backing off the tower, and I'm just going to continue queuing, going to continue auto-attacking him, using my Q whenever it's up, and there we go, going to finish him off with a power chord. So that Amumu, if you looked in terms of his summoners, he has heal, fortify, not good summoners to begin with. First of all, he should be jungling, and Misfortune should be laning, so that's really silly to begin with. But secondly, if he is going to lane, he should take something other than heal, fortify, because he has no escapability, and you saw what happened there. I just chased him down. Anyway, here comes the jungling Misfortune. Jaja is behind the tower, and there's really no way he can get out of this. So unfortunately, that is going to be a kill for their Misfortune player. Anyway, though, I am in a really strong position. You can see I got first blood. I have 2 kills already and an assist. So Sona with 2 kills in the first 8 minutes. And I also have one of the top farming stats in game. You can see I've actually outfarmed every enemy champion on their team. I have more farm than anyone on their team. So I'm in a really strong position right now. I'm going to go back and turn that into more items, but I'll finish Sona's skilling discussion first. Her E-skill is her movement speed. It's called Song of Celerity. You can see the persistent aura is it gives nearby allied champs bonus movement speed, and then there's an active effect that also speeds her up very temporarily. So watch this. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to speed up just briefly. You can see right there, energizes nearby allies, granting them 6% movement speed for the next 1.5 seconds. So you can see right there, I'm getting that bonus movement speed, and I'm using it to hurry myself back to lane. Then Sona's ultimate is called Crescendo. You can see stuns enemy champions, deals decent magic damage, not a lot, but decent, and then stuns them, forces them to stand in place for 1.5 seconds. So a pretty useful skill. And you can see, notice how I'm just backing this Aurelia off because I have such a huge leveling advantage over her. I have 3 levels on her, and I've been skilling my Hymn of Valor, my Q first, because I'm in a solo lane. If I were in a duo lane, I'd probably put more points in my heal, but I'm not, so I'm skilling my Q first. And you can see it actually does quite a bit of damage right now. It deals 200 damage on a 6-second cooldown and only costs 65 mana. So anyway, those are Sona's skills. In terms of my items, I build tier first on Sona. I do like that skill. The other thing I've picked up is I've gone back and picked up a Philosopher's Stone. It just gives me tons of mana regen and health regen. So really good because I'm here in this solo lane. Quite good on me right now. Also, I really like Philosopher's Stone now that you can build it into that Alace's Miracle item. Give yourself some tenacity. Like Lux, I like to build cooldown boots on Sona. She needs cooldown. Cooldown's really important on her. So like to build cooldown boots, and then having that Alace's Miracle to turn the Philostone into later on still gives you some protection from crowd control. So I mean, there are other ways to build Sona. She's also quite good at building right there. Oh, get a flash and then use my crescendo. And gonna finish off that Aurelia there. So anyway, that Aurelia just got too low, and that Amumu left the lane, so kind of left her out to dry there. Yeah, so she's just been out-leveled. She's behind the curve now, and it's really tough for her to lane at this point. Anyways, I was saying in terms of items, the Philostone, you can also, in addition to turning it into Alace's Miracle, you can also turn that into, hold on, let's get the, or not Magic Resist, let's get the health regen. You can also turn it into Shirelia's Reverie, which is also quite good on Sona. See, that gives you cooldown reduction, gives you health regen, mana regen, and gives you the active speed up effect. So it's sort of like another version of your E skill. So anyway, all of those items are good. I would definitely try to build Philostone on Sona. The tier, not as necessary. I do happen to like tier because you can build it late game into Archangel Staff, but that's more of a luxury. You really should try to get Philosopher's Stone though on Sona. Anyway, here you can see the Amumu is really low, and I would try to dive him, except number one, my flash is down, and number two, my crescendo is down. So if either one of them was up, I would probably dive him at tower, but with both of them being down, I'm just not going to try to dive in there. So anyway, that's a little bit about the itemization that I've done on Sona in this game. In terms of her skills, as I said, I leveled up Q first, and then next I'm going to level up her heal 1 point in her W at level 4, and then I'll max that last, and of course take points in her ultimate whenever it's available. Now, Sona, when she came out, which was around, I think, November of 2010, or November, October, somewhere around there, Sona was really, really strong when she first came out. She was probably overpowered when she came out because her skills just did so much damage. Like, her healed for a ridiculous amount on a really short cooldown. So for a while there, she was like super popular and she was getting banned in all the ranked games, and then she was too strong, so Riot put in some nerfs on her, and she got to the point where she was one of the weaker supports and nobody was playing her anymore. So I stopped playing her, and pretty much everybody else did too. Then slowly in recent months, she's been getting buffed again, and she's been getting quite a few buffs to the point where now she's back to being pretty good again. And anyway, I'll continue this in a minute, but here first, Jajay's going to come in from his roam, and he's going to get in the headbutt pulverize combo on this Amumu. He's going to try to get away, but there's the crescendo, going to freeze him in place. Going to continue playing on my Q skill, and 28 HP. Jajay going to finish him off there, and we're going to get the kill there with no real issues. So nice job there by Jajay. Nice pulverize, nice headbutt, and then that went into my ult, and we're able to finish him off and get a kill there. Once again, remember that Amumu doesn't have any escapability skills. With heal fortify, he doesn't have flash, he doesn't have ghost, so he can't get away from stuff like that easily. So again, guys, if you're gonna lane, you really want at least one of either flash or ghost. Not having either one when you lane really makes it easy for people to kill you. Alright, as I was saying, in terms of the metagame, Sona was very strong, but then she got nerfed, and of course after getting nerfed, now she's back, she was buffed again, and now she's back to being very good again. I think that she's one of the better supports in the game right now. In terms of support, Janna, number one, I've said this many times before, Janna is the best support, guys. I know some of you disagree, but I think it's pretty clear-cut that she's the best. Has knock-up on her Tornado, has a slow on her Zephyr that also gives bonus movement speed when as a passive, which is really good. She then has an incredibly good shield on her E. I mean, really good, provides a huge amount of damage. Shield also gives attack damage bonus, has an ultimate that repositions the enemy team and heals you, and finally her passive gives everybody on the team bonus movement speed. I mean, that is just really, really good. So I still think Janna's number one support. Soraka, Sona, pretty similar. I think that they're the next best. Soraka has more healing power than Sona. She's better at healing. She has a burst. She's much much better at bursting heal with her global ultimate than Sona does. Sona just has her Q skill. Sona is more heal over time. Like, if you're going to look at it in terms of, like, amount of heal over time, then Sona's better, but Soraka's better at burst heal, and burst heal is generally more important on a support. So Soraka probably a little bit better. She also has that armor buff on her heal, which is really, really good. I think she gives, like, 60 or 70 bonus armor when she uses her heal on someone. That's really good. So Sona a little bit more offense oriented. Soraka can't really do anything offensively. Sona much more offensive oriented. You've kind of seen this in this game. I got fed a few kills early on, and now I'm able to do quite a bit of damage with my Q. So Sona, Soraka both quite good. Taric maybe a little bit below that. Taric has fallen off a little bit in recent patches, not because they've done anything to him really per se, but just other supports are kind of better right now. So really, those are the best supports. Beyond that, I wouldn't really play the other champs. I wouldn't try playing Karma. Nothing against Karma per se. It's just that other champs do the same thing she does and does it better. Like, I don't know why you would play Karma over, say, Janna or Soraka or somebody. So anyway, nothing against them, but those are really the best supports in the game. Down here, we were doing some zoning. Jaje was zoning back the other team, doing a very nice job of it. So you can see we're really getting the leveling advantage here and the farming advantage. If you want to look at those farming stats, Amumu 24 minion kills, Aurelia 34, I have 81. So you can see I've outfarmed the two of them together, in part because they've died a couple times, and of course when you're dead you can't get farm, but also Jaje's been helping here, and I mean we've been able to deny them pretty hard there. We denied them about 2 full minion waves worth of experience and gold there, so that's pretty good. Anyway, up here we were considering going for Dragon, but I think we decided that we weren't going to do it right now. We were waiting for Atlas. Atlas is coming down from base, so I think we said when Atlas comes down here, we'll go for Dragon. I think he picked up a pink ward. Yep, so there it is. You can see he picked up a pink ward, picked up a vision ward. Their team was running around in the jungle, so Jaje headed mid to try to get a gank on that Teemo. But with with my clairvoyance, we've had really good vision on the enemy team. And in the meantime, I'm going to go back to farming. In terms of the other lanes, let's look at that top lane. You can see Cole has 66 minion kills. Lux has 41. Lux has died twice, so Cole is well ahead in that lane with some help from ganks from Atlas and also Jaje. In that middle lane, let's take a look. Mookie is 1-0, 110 minion kills. Teemo 0-178, so Mookie is well ahead in that lane as well. Unfortunately, Lux is getting a kill up there in top lane here, trying to engage on this Amumu player. You can see Atlas going to get off the ult. I don't think we're going to be able to chase down this Teemo. They're going to be able to make it back to his tower, so unfortunately not able to get that kill. In any case, now though, we've managed to push them back. I think we were, well, I guess we're not going to go for Dragon. I thought that we did that here. Maybe we're going to do it soon, but I know that Atlas did pick up the pink ward, and I think maybe now he's going to go for it. I'm getting a little confused on what happened in this game, trying to think back to when we actually played it. So yeah, there's the pink ward. That means the enemy team doesn't have vision. Atlas doing a very nice job of pulling the Dragon back out, so it's easier for us to escape. I'm going to come down here to support. With my heals, we'll be able to do this in pretty much complete safety. I'm not going to do it fast because neither one of us has that much damage, but Atlas does have the Madrid's Razor, so he's going to have that passive chance to do damage to the minion. And with my heals, we're certainly not going to be in trouble. Anyway, there's the enemy team's ward, so now they do have vision, know we're doing this. There's the Misfortune ult, but we are going to take that Dragon, and we are going to get advantage. So you can see there's the golden experience bonus coming in. Little dangerous there. That Misfortune doing a nice job trying to steal it with her ult, but we were able to take it. Atlas did not miss the smite, did a good job. And again, guys, remember that's why you always have to be on top of smiting if you're going to go for Dragon. If you don't have your smite up, you probably shouldn't go for it, because if we hadn't had smite there, they would have stolen that, and then that would have been silly to give them that. Anyway, my Q doing a ton of damage at this point. Sona has awful AP ratios. They're really bad. They're like 0.3, 0.4, something like that. But with my Q already being maxed, already with 5 points in it, and having this needlessly large rod that I picked up because I'm so farmed, I'm doing a lot of damage with that skill now. So you can see about 320 damage on a 5-second cooldown. So it's very difficult for them to lane against me right now. I mean, I just have such a huge leveling advantage, and anytime they come close, I do that, right? I mean, you can just see I do a ton of damage. There's the power chord too. So between my Hymn of Valor and my power chord, I'm just getting in a lot of harass on these two. You can see Aurelia 47 magic resist, Amumu 60 magic resist, so not a whole lot of magic resist. I mean, they have some. That Amumu a little bit more, but that Aurelia is just really, really prey for me. And right there, I miss on my ult. That was really, really poorly done. See, like right now, if I had my ult, I would have been able to kill her there. So that's really a shame and a bad play on my part. But Nonetheless, I am really crushing these guys in lane. I'm making it really tough for them to farm. Elsewhere, our team is doing good stuff all over the map. You know, you can see we just scored another kill in mid on that Teemo, and we're pushing down mid. Now we're getting ready to come in here. Atlas was looking to ult these guys, but there's the Fortify, so we're going to back off. You can see I actually take a lot of harass there, but the good news is I am Sona, and I have Sona heals. So I have 170 heal on a 5-second cooldown. Now Atlas is going to go in, going to ult on the tower, and can we finish off this Amumu? No, he's going to get away with 15 HP. I guess he wasn't in range for another one of those, another Warwick Q, another Hungering Strike. So I guess we're not going to be able to do that. But with my heals plus Atlas's own Hungering Strike, we can heal extremely quickly down here. But yeah, their Teemo is going to come down. He is going to save the tower, so that's a pretty good use of teleport. I know that I often criticize the teleports, but that is going to save the tower. But you can see Jaje going to circle around here, so we're going to look to dive this. And let's see, can we manage to finish off this Teemo? As soon as the minions get up here, Jaje can come in. There's the headbutt, and not following up the pulverize. There we go. Going to do a lot of damage. There's the pulverize. Now we just need one more hit to finish him off. Can we finish him? No, looks like he is going to get away with his move quick, so that wasn't too good. Sadly, my ult was like 2 seconds away from cooling down. If I had had my ult up there, then I could have flash ulted him very easily. I might even be able to flash auto attack and kill him. But in any case, I figured let's not be too crazy. We're way ahead in this game, 10-2 in kills. Let's not take any silly, crazy risks. We'll just take the tower back off and look to push and heal again somewhere else on the map. So that's the plan there. Again, when you get ahead, it's better to play cautiously, conservatively. When you get behind is when you want to play more aggressively, because when you're behind, you're going to lose the game if you don't do something to change it. So that's why you want to play more aggressively when you're behind. When you're ahead, you just want to look to farm lanes, push towers when they're available, sort of slowly push them out of the game. And that's sort of what you should be going for there. So that's sort of the logic there. Like right there, we take another tower. I mean, we're way ahead. We've got a dragon. We've got two towers. Excuse me, we've got 2 towers. We're ahead in Global Golden Experience. We're out farming them by just an enormous amount. You can see Mookie's ahead of Teemo. I'm enormously ahead of that bottom lane. So really, just no reason to get aggressive. Just play smart, play defensive. Don't try to throw away our advantage, that sort of thing. It's something that you often see people not doing in games, but that's what we're going to try to do here. Alright, anyway, here I went back to base. I turned my Philosopher's Stone into a Lace's Miracle. Again, I could have gone for the Shirelius Reverie, another nice item, but I did want some crowd control reduction. I looked at their team and saw that they had a pretty decent amount of crowd control. They have a Mumu ult, they have Lux Binding, Teemo's Mushrooms are always irritating, Aurelia has a stun too. So, I mean, granted, this team doesn't have the most crowd control ever, but that Amumu really made me want to get one of the Tenacity items, so went for it there. Also, it is very cheap. The other reason is I'm building Death Cap, an item that I normally would not build on Sona if I'm just playing a pure support Sona, but because I'm going to have to put 3,600 gold into Death Cap, I'm just going to get a Lace's Miracle, which is cheap, instead of Shirelia's, which costs like I think 2,000 something. So because I'm getting the Death Cap, I'm going to go for the cheaper item with my Philo Stone, and then look to build more ability power after that. I still have very little survivability, so if anyone actually catches me, I am going to die pretty much instantly, but I'm doing a lot of damage and a lot of healing, so if I can stay in the back ranks and not get caught by the enemy team, then it'll be very difficult to kill our team with me healing for, you know, 200 life every 5 seconds. You know, that's pretty good stuff there. Alright, anyway, here you can see we've pushed bottom. Now we're looking to get in a little extra damage on mid here. We're going in for a dive on top. There's the Ash Arrow. Cole gonna hit on that Ash Arrow. There's the Pulverized Headbutt coming in. There's the Atlas Warwick ult. That might even be a little bit overkill, but whatever. We're gonna get the kill, and then we're gonna push this tower. In mid, they're actually ganking us, but I'm gonna use Sona ult plus Flash, then plus my Song of Celerity movement speed. And even with Aurelia and Teemo popping extra movement speed. Yeah, Aurelia ghosted and Teemo has his move quick, but they're still not going to be able to catch me, and I'm going to get out of there without any real trouble. Now their team is coming to gank top lane, so we just need to get out of there. Fortunately, look what we have. Ward here, ward here, ward here. So much map sight means that we can avoid this gank with no real problem, so everybody's going to get out of this with no trouble, and we're going to make it back to the safety of our tower. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue just farming up here. So even though their whole team came top to try to gank, thanks to these wards, we're able to escape no problem. So again, guys, another thing you should do when you get ahead, buy wards. Because the cost of the wards is so cheap, when you get ahead in global gold, you might as well start turning some of that global gold into wards, because the map control they'll give you will prevent you from getting ganked. And that's really the only way you lose when you get behind, is to make stupid plays. See, like, once again, right there, 3 champs coming mid. And what are we going to do? I'm just going to escape because we have this ward here. I know they're coming. I just walk back to my tower. I don't get killed. We stay really far ahead. So see how that works? I mean, it's kind of obvious, but at the same time, it's the sort of thing people don't do quite often. Anyway, here we can engage. We have a numbers advantage. So indeed, there we go. We're going to hit on the Ash Arrow. I think we were actually aiming for someone other than a Mumu, but in any case, we're going to hit a Mumu. He's going to die, and instead of diving this in mid, look what's back up again. Looks like Dragon's up, so we're going to take that. Unfortunately, Miss Fortune is going to backdoor and take down that bottom tower, but while she was doing that, we scored a kill mid, and we're going to take a Dragon, so that's a pretty good exchange there. The Dragon is probably worth more than that. There's the Hawk shot, seeing just to check if anyone's there. Nope, nobody is there, so we're pretty safe to take this. We are going to score that, so we're now up 2 Dragons to 0, in addition to our kill lead and our tower lead. Anyway, right now you can see the enemy team recalling. Atlas coming down here to steal their race. We also have our blue buff back up again, so someone really should take that. To be perfectly honest, I don't need blue. Now, normally blue is quite good on Sona, but I actually already have a lot of cooldown reduction and mana regen. Look, I've got 58 per 5 mana regen, and I already have 30% cooldown reduction. So really, I don't need the blue. So I think we're going to give it to, I believe we gave it to Mookie instead. He actually said he didn't really need the mana regen either, but the cooldown reduction is something that he can use. So anyway, I'm going to head back to base. You can see I can finish my death cap now, have enough to finish off that last item. Going to give me a lot of ability power for this point in time in the game on Sona. I don't have the Sorcerer's Shoes though, so I don't have that much Magic Pen. You can see I only have the default stuff from Runes and Masteries, 9 and 15%, so don't have that much Magic Pen. Not going to be doing that much damage, but I am going to pick up the 3 wards. Remember what I said? When you get ahead, throw down wards. Just make sure you don't get caught, you don't make silly mistakes, don't make bad plays. So going to buy that and try to help out our team. Haven't really played too much support. I've really been more of like a straight AP caster in this game, but now as we start to get into more of the team fighting stuff, I'm going to start backing off a little bit from doing damage, trying to do a little bit more of a support role. Anyway, here we almost caught these guys. If I had my flash up, I probably would have flash ulted them there and tried to pick a fight there, but my flash was still down. You can see it's just about to cool down, so that's why I didn't go in on fight there. So decided not to go in. Miss Fortune pushing in top lane. We're going to rotate some people to deal with that. And right now, we're just sort of looking for a good time to engage. We were going to try to go for a Baron here. Unfortunately, it looks like they have a did they have a CV? I guess that was our CV. But in any case, it looks like they know that we're here. So this is actually going to turn into kind of a bad situation. You can see a Mumu going to bandage to us in there and engage on me. And I'm going to try to flash out of there, but I flash right into Miss Fortune. And now this is going pretty badly here. So you can see this is a Baron fight gone terribly, terribly wrong. Able to burst me down very quickly. We are going to try to pick off some kills here. You can see Cole is going to manage to finish off a kill there on their enemy player, but we are going to get aced here, and we are going to only kill 3 of them. The good news is they're not going to be strong enough to take Baron there, but the bad news is, of course, they aced us, and that's going to help put them back in the game. They are going to take down this tower here in mid. So, what was wrong with that play? Well, that was just us getting a little too greedy. We really should not have tried that Baron. When you get really far ahead, there's no reason to try a risky Baron like that, and that was a risky Baron. I mean, make no mistake about it, that was a risky Baron. If we had scored a pick on their team, like if we had killed somebody on their team, then that would have been a good Baron to go for, but I mean, we didn't kill anyone on their team. That was just us trying to straight do Baron, which was a silly decision to make. I mean, there was really no reason to do that whatsoever, so we got greedy, we went for Baron, it was a dumb play. We've now kind of let them back into the game. They got 5 kills out of that. Now remember, the whole game prior to that, they'd only had 2 kills. They went from 2 kills to 7 kills off of that engage. So we really kind of let them back into the game off of that, and we lost our mid tower. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. They could have taken Baron themselves, but they're fortunately not going to do that, and they're not going to get into our base, not going to get any inhibs down. They did a lot of damage on this 2nd level tower, though, so that was, like I said, a big mistake. It was exactly the sort of thing that we should not have done. As soon as we saw them showing up, we really should have backed out. I think we were trying to back out, but we just got caught in a really bad position. Their Mumu player, even though he's made a lot of dumb mistakes in this game, his bandage toss ult into us was a really nice play, and he got that off and shut me down. I have to make sure I don't get caught in here. Anyway, now we're going to pick another engagement right there, and I thought I hit that Aurelia, but apparently I didn't. Mookie is going to finish off that Teemo, but he is going to go down. However, we're getting a really good engage here on the rest of their team. You can see Jaje coming in from the side, gonna get a kill on that Amumu player right there. There we go. Now Miss Fortune is trapped and she's in trouble. She's gonna try to flash, but Cole is getting off the Ash Airs. They are gonna get the kiting effect, and we're gonna finish it off. Jaje gonna get in the headbutt. So that engage went really well for us. We were able to pick a nice fight there. We've scored a kill on 4 members of their team. We were able to draw them out away from their base into a place where they couldn't really fight. And now this is the right time to go do Baron. Now we have 4 members of their team killed. Only Lux is up. She probably will try to steal this, but as long as Atlas is able to hit on his smite, then we should be okay. We've got Sona heals to keep us strong and to kind of protect us here. We have good ward coverage, so we can see a lot of the map. But anyway, Lux is in this area. You can see Lux going to try to steal with laser, but it's a blind ult, and it's going to be a little too early, so we're not going to have any trouble taking this. Here we were actually considering chasing Lux here, but she's going to hit on that binding, and with her hitting on that binding, we're going to make discretion the better part of valor and back off here and not try to chase this. So we're going to convert the gold that we have into items, and then we're going to look to push off of our Baron after that. So that was how to do a Baron fight. Win a fight mid, then go Baron, not just straight try to go do Baron when you haven't won anything. Okay, so once again, I am going to pick up a Blasting Wand. I do want to finish that Archangels. My tier is pretty much maxed out, I think. I'll check as I use my move quick here, see if it continues to increase my max mana. And okay, so it's not maxed, but I have cast quite a bit of spells. With Sona, you do the Sona stance, which is basically just hitting QWE repeatedly in a fight. That's just one of the reasons why Sona is considered to be one of the lower skill champions in the game, which she definitely is. I will make no mistake about it. She definitely isn't one of the champions that requires a lot of skill to play. Basically, in team fights, you mash QWE repeatedly to get all your auras stacking up. Of course, there is still some things you can do with Sona. Using her ult takes... you do want to make sure to use her ult at the right times. I like to take Clairvoyance on Sona as well, because with her skills not requiring quite as much attention as some of the other champions. Oh, and there's another attempt at a Dragon Steal by Lux, but not going to work out. With their skills not requiring quite as much attention, you can divert more of your attention to stuff like CV. So Sona, who's constantly healing the team, using Clairvoyance, getting off ult in the right spots, that's someone who actually does bring a lot of value to the team. So something I try to focus on. Notice that I actually am a higher level than Cole's Ashe, which is a little bit funny. Anyway, Mookie was able to get a kill there on the Misfortune. Sorry, I missed that a little bit. We were going to push mid, but then we decided to rotate bottom, hoping we could catch some of them in the jungle, and that's exactly what we were able to do. We were able to catch that Misfortune out. Now, Mookie almost died, but watch what's going to happen with these Sona heals. I'm just going to heal him right up very, very quickly. Every time I pop that heal, he's getting back almost 300 health. So yeah, 296. Going to get back tons and tons of health. This is something that Sona is better at than the other supports. She is one of the best in the game at supporting a push. I mean, with their continuous heals, you just heal and heal and heal and heal, and it really allows you to sustain pushes in lanes. So Baron does that already, but then having Sona's heals helps you do that even more. So anyway, we've managed to come in here behind their team a little bit, so we're going to try to gank these guys. You can see we're getting a nice engage on their team. We're going to burst them down there. There's the ult. Going to miss Aurelia, so oops, that's not so good. Unable to catch Aurelia there. With her passive, she's probably would have been stuck in it too long anyway, but we are going to polish off Teemo, and then now we're going to poke at this tower here. Even though I'm getting caught a little bit, I can just continue using my skills, using my heals. So there we go. We need Cole to poke at the tower here. That's what we really need in this particular engagement. Jaje, for some reason, is splitting off the top lane. We kind of needed him to go with us. There we are. There's the Asher. We're going to go in and engage, but we're a little too close to the tower. And unfortunately here, you can see Cole's going to get bursted down before we can manage to do too much there. Now Mookie getting caught here. I'm going to try to heal him, but unfortunately not going to be able to do so. And now Atlas getting bursted down as well. And really, I can't stick in this. I just have to back out of this. So again, Jaje went to top lane. I don't think that was the right time to split push. Or alternately, if we were going to split push, then we didn't want to engage with an Ash Arrow. But if we were going to go in and engage there, we should not have split off Jaje into top lane. So bit of a miscommunication on the team there, making mistakes. So we do get a kill on one of them, but we hand them 3 deaths, and that really wasn't the right play there. So that was not all that well handled. That was another mistake. Another mistake on our part. Could have handled that much better. So, oh well. We are still extremely far ahead, but we can't afford to make too many of those mistakes, or we'll start letting the enemy team back into this game. Again, the sort of thing you shouldn't be doing at this stage of the game. Unfortunately, it is what we do there. Anyway, here, I'm going to give this to Jaje just because, as I said before, I really don't need blue buff, and it will be useful in Alistar. Alistar definitely benefits from cooldown reduction. You can see Jaje does have the death cap. Oh, and right here, we saw Teemo coming, so we decided to wait in the brush, and yeah, going to finish him off there. So I actually forgot about that when we played this game. But yeah, we caught sight of Teemo somewhere over here. We caught sight of him coming up here, and we were like, oh, Teemo's going to come to our blue buff. Let's sit in the bushes and wait. And so as soon as he showed up, Jaje got off the Pulverize, and then I got off, as soon as that was wearing off, I got off the Crescendo, and we just bursted him down instantly. So that was a lot of fun there. Alright, anyway, one disadvantage of losing that fight was we had our Oracle wiped out on one of our players. Can't remember who it was on off the top of my head. Sorry, I can't remember, but we did have an Oracle earlier. It was wiped out, so now I have picked up an Oracle because I really shouldn't be dying in any fight. Hopefully, at least, if I can get my positioning correct and stay in the back, I won't be dying. So I picked up an Oracle, picked up more wards, and I finished my Archangel Staff, so now have 371 in terms of ability power. Anyway, over here, Atlas got caught, but Mookie was able to finish off their Misfortune player, so here we go. Now we're going to go in and engage here. This is a pretty good fight for us. There, I actually get off the slow on that Aurelia using the Power Chord effect from her Sona E. There we go. Now we're going to continue kiting, just Ash Frost arrows doing a lot of damage to that Amumu. And that's going to allow us to pick off another kill there. So we're going to go 3 for 1, and that turned into a really good fight, which is now going to allow us to start pushing mid here. Again, remember, we've got Sona heals, so as we take damage, it's just going to be healed up. I mean, you can see Lux did a lot of damage to me, but it's just going to be healed up pretty much instantly based off of my heals. So gonna pop that W again, and now we're all full health. So one of the most frustrating things in the world, playing against a fed Sona who just constantly heals the team. There's really very little that you can do. Anyway, they only have 2 champions alive, so they can't defend this tower. We're just going to push this down, push over this inhib. I had told the teammates here that if that Lux player came in and tried to defend, I was going to use Flash plus ult, and then we'd be able to kill her, but she did the right thing. She just stayed back. She couldn't defend that inhib, so she just backed off, let us have it. And so now that's going to help us snowball even further ahead right now. You can see the farming stats. See, we're well ahead in farm. We've got a huge advantage in global golden experience. We did get that first Baron. We've taken 3 dragons. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towers down. They only have 3 of ours down. So again, big time advantages in global gold all over the map. Over here, right now, we know Baron is going to pop soon, so look what we're doing, warding up. You can see wards all through their jungle. I've got the Oracle, and oh, here comes Teemo again, once again. There we go, gonna get off the Pulverize. I think I actually missed on the Sona ult, but Jaje gonna get off the Headbutt Pulverize combo, and we're gonna take him down. There's an arrow coming in from base. Actually, a pretty good arrow. Would have hit, I think, if Teemo was trying to run away. Maybe, maybe not, but was a pretty good arrow. So anyway, we are expecting Baron to repop. Like I said, we've got it warded. They have no wards, and there it is. There's Baron. We knew it was about to pop. That's why we were doing that. No wards here, no sight, no Teemo Mushroom, so we'll be clear to start this as soon as the team gets here. And if the enemy team wants to come fight, they're going to have to fight 4-on-5 because Teemo just got picked off. So this is really ideal conditions. Earlier, terrible Baron. This is the opposite. This is a perfect Baron. It's perfectly safe. We have so much healing between Alistar heals, Sona heals, and Warwick Hungering Strike. So the 3 of us are not going to die in a sustained fight. The enemy team's only chance is to burst us down before all of our healing power gets into effect. Anyway, we thought about pushing mid, but we decided, hey, this tower's exposed. Let's just go push this tower. It's going to focus on Cole. It's going to focus on Atlas, so you can see he's going to take a lot of damage here. But again, I've got the Sona heals. He's got his Hungering Strike. He'll be back up to full very quickly. Nice headbutt from Jaje there, getting that Misfortune player into the wall. Are we going to be able to finish these guys off? Nope, they are going to retreat back to their base. But right now, we can start doing some poking. No, actually, I think what we said we're going to do is we're going to rotate over here mid because, again, they have no towers. Going to try to engage, and here right now, there's the Ash arrow coming in. I'm going to flash ult right there. Going to hit 3 members of their team, so a perfect Sona ult. Great initiation by Cole into the Sona ult. Just perfectly done. Exactly the way we want. So now we've scored a kill on Amumu. Everybody else is heavily injured, so they're going to have to heal, and that's going to let us pick off this tower. And once we get this tower and this inhib, that really will seal the game. I mean, we're already super far ahead, but once that second inhib goes down, it's just about impossible to come back. Now, again, even though we've got the big advantage, here's the fortify, so we don't want to die this. We need to back out here. I'm going to continue healing, going to give the movement speed boost right there so Jaje can get out of tower range. Instead, right now, we're going to head over here and start pushing this tower. You can see, got a minion wave over here, pushing down on this lane. So if a couple of us can hold the minions right here, we can then have some members of their team go and push that minion wave to tower. So that's the logic there. You can see Cole heading over there. I'm going to continue just popping my heals over and over again. And there we go. That Oracle going to let us pop Teemo Mushrooms. We're going to force a fight here at this tower. And that is, once this tower goes down, that will pretty much be it. Get us access to that last inhib. Nice Amumu ult coming in from their team. My ult is 5 seconds away from cooling down, unfortunately. Going to try to heal Atlas, not going to be able to get him. And now my ult is cooled down. Unfortunately, just a little late. If that had cooled down a couple seconds earlier, I think I could have saved Atlas there. Anyway, continuing to harass. There goes the tower. So now we're going to be able to finish these guys off. There's the ult. Going to freeze that poor guy. Going to freeze that poor player in place. Cole, unfortunately, gets killed. Wasn't able to heal him. They were correctly focusing him like they were supposed to, but this is going to be the end of the game. We're going to finish taking down that inhib, and now we can just go for the Nexus towers. They have 3 members of their team dead, only 2 up, so 3 on 2 here with a whole lot of super minions helping us push. So this will be it. We'll just take down these towers. Again, with those Sona heals, you can just push pretty much indefinitely. You have so much sustain. Of course, we also have Baron here, too. And there, Jaje going to get the Pulverize. They're going to knock him back, and I'm actually going to get credit for that kill. So that's going to be it. Nexus Tower is down. We're going to wrap this up. And nice game all around for our team. This is going to be it. So well played, guys. This will be the end. Any second now. Not sure why no one is bothering to hit the Nexus here. I guess it'll go on for another 2 seconds. But there we go. Finish that off, and congrats to the rest of the team for a well-played game. We got ahead early, and then we stayed ahead, kept that snowball rolling, even though we made a few mistakes. Alright, here are the stats. As I said, this game went really well from us. We got ahead early and we just stayed ahead the whole game, even though we did make those dumb mistakes. We made the really dumb mistake at Baron, and then we got caught in the other one fight at mid when we split Jaje top. But overall, we were ahead, and when you're ahead, you can make mistakes. That's the thing. When you're behind, you can't really make mistakes. As far as Sona goes, very strong Sona game. I was able to get that first blood because the Aurelia player on their team left that lane and was underleveled, and then I was able to score that first blood because I had solo lane experience, and she actually had sub-duo lane experience, which is not good. So was able to get the first blood, and then it just snowballed from there. I did get caught once at the Baron fight when I got trapped by that Misfortune player coming in the Amumu ult. But other than that, I mean, I feel like I played this game really well. Strong Sona game. Jaje with his roaming, he ganked lanes all over the map. You saw him gank bottom. I didn't really show it too much because I was trying to keep the focus on mid, but he was helping out in top. He was helping out in middle, and he was just really all over the map with those mobility boots and just had a great game. So this was one game where the roaming thing really worked out perfectly. Mookie played great in mid, Cole played great in top. You can see they both had a ton of farm, had a lot of damage items, and their KDA scores, kill deaths and assists, looked really positive. Atlas had a bit of a tough game. He just didn't really get that much farm. He was kind of under-farmed and sort of was behind, wasn't able to pull off ganks that effectively. It wasn't able to coordinate as well with Jaje as maybe could have. So this wasn't a great game for Atlas, unfortunately, but I mean, he still did contribute to the team. He was able to get in some good Warwick ults. Just wasn't one of his greatest games, that's all. And that happens to everybody. Like I said, the game I played right before this, I played Annie, and I was really shut down by a Soraka Jax duo lane, and that was a really bad combination for Annie. Anyway, in terms of their team, the jungling Misfortune thing didn't really work out that well. Their Misfortune got very farmed. I mean, she was doing a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. It's just that she never ganked any lanes, ever, at any point in time. And if you're going to take a jungler, you kind of need to do that, or else your solo lanes and your duo lanes are really going to struggle. So, I mean, while the Misfortune jungle thing did let her get very farmed, she wasn't really able to help out the rest of the team. In the other lanes, they just got ganked too much. The Teemo and Lux players both got ganked a lot, and that put them behind. And then in bottom lane, for whatever reason, these guys just really struggled. I don't know why. They just, for whatever reason, they got behind early on. And then I was just ahead, and I was able to keep them behind because I had extra ability power, extra cooldown reduction, extra mana regen, and I was just harassing with Sona Q over and over again. Anyway, these guys were all level 30 that we're playing against, and actually that Aurelia, who was 1-8, had 1,900 wins in normal, so that must be like 4,000 total games played, so I guess it was just a bad game. They certainly weren't inexperienced players or anything. Overall, as I was saying, Sona is really coming back now. I think that she got buffed a lot in some of the recent patches. You haven't really seen this in the metagame too much. You don't see Sona getting played that much. It's sort of the high tiers. But I think the metagame is just behind right now. Sona's really good. She's one of the best supports in the game right now. Certainly if Janna is banned and you need a support, I would definitely look at grabbing Sona. If you're not going to have a Soraka who just, babysits someone on your team, grab Sona. She's really good. she's really good right now. And particularly for people who are still learning the game, she's easy to play too. I mean, she's one of the easiest champs in the game to play. So check her out. I would definitely tell people to play more Sona right now. Her ult is really good and crowd control, and her other skills give a lot of heal and do a lot of damage. So anyway, that's all for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching this. I'll try to have some more stuff up soon, and I'll see you guys soon. So until then, take care and have a good week.